When Shaytaan has given this topic so much attention, why should we not give marriage this type of attention when Shaytaan has given this topic so much more attention? Subhanallah, it seems that Shaytaan has a vested interest in separating husband and wife. And it's one of those things that he celebrates a lot more with respect to sins that him and his troops, they achieve. And this was mentioned categorically in a hadith, which Muslim narrates on the authority of Jabir, that the Messenger ﷺ said, Iblis, the devil, Shaytaan, his name is Iblis, Shaytaan is a nickname, he places his throne on water, imitating, astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh, the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah said, the throne of Allah is upon water, la ilaha illallah. So Iblis, he places his throne on water. Then he sends out his troops. Then one of them comes back later on in that evening, and he says to his master Iblis, I did such and such. Whether it is somebody who I made drink, or somebody who I made gamble, somebody who I made fornicate, astaghfirullah. And Shaytaan will say, you didn't do anything. Not to belittle these sins, but Shaytaan has a vision. Allahu Akbar. Where is our vision, ikhwani? Shaytaan has a vision. He says, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, you haven't done much. You may have, in other words, you may have destroyed that person, taken him to hell, her to hell. I want more. Another may come to him and say, I did this, boasting, his little minions, boastings to Iblis. I did this. And he said, you haven't done anything. Until one of them finally comes and says, I did not leave a particular couple till I managed to separate between them, cause them to divorce. Then Shaytaan will bring him closer. One of the narrators said, he hugs him, brings him close to his body and says, or ni'ma anta, you have done well, Allah, you have done well, he says to him. Therefore, as a rule, when Shaytaan puts his money down a particular path, know that he knows where to put his money. Because Shaytaan and others who work for him from the ins, from the human beings, they know very well that when you have destroyed a marriage, you have destroyed a family, you have destroyed the future of a society potentially as well. Look at the ramifications, dear brothers and sisters, of marital discord, or worse still, divorce, when that marriage could have been saved. What happens? First of all, let us first acknowledge the fact that divorce is on the rise. And from these statistics, this course was born. Statistics are suggesting that in Saudi Arabia, and I mention that country for a reason, statistics are suggesting that divorce is hovering around the 60% mark. There was also a report in 2014 to the Federal National Council suggesting that divorce rates in the UAE are hovering around the 70% mark. 7 out of 10 marriages are ending in failure. And a similar percentage is documented for Qatar. And a percentage not too far of this for Kuwait. The Muslims up in North America, they're also complaining of similar statistics, saying that our divorce rates in the Muslim community are now reaching the standard divorce rate in the non-Muslim American society. In the UK, for those of you who are aware and deal with this, it seems to be a very similar grim case. Rather, in my own personal and short experience in the Islamic Council of Europe, out of every 10 cases that are supposed to be mediating between people in every avenue of life, whether financial, marital, or whatever it may be, out of every 10 or so cases, I would say maybe 9 of them are divorce related. Maybe more. So we have a problem. Shaytaan is working. And many of these marriages could have been fixed. And this is our motto for these lecture series. We want to mend it rather than ending it. We want to find solutions. And divorce undoubtedly is a window that Allah has provided if all other options fail. Why else has Shaytaan placed his money in this particular investment? Look at what happens to the children. Ian Duncan Smith, who worked as he was the ex-work and pensions officer in the UK between 2010 and 2016. He said that children who emerge from broken homes are 9 times more likely to commit crime than those children who come out from stable homes. That is a worrying statistic. Statistics are also saying that children nowadays are far more likely to have a smartphone at home than a dad. And if the divorce rates, other statistics they say, continue as they are at this moment in time in the UK, 1 in 3 children, rather more than 1 in 3 children, will be missing a mother or a father. They will not be living under a married household by the age of 15. We have an issue here, brothers and sisters. This is part of the reason why Shaytaan puts his money in this department. But then look at the individual cost that happens when a husband and wife are falling out. Look at what happens to him, what her, from an emotional, psychological perspective. We've all been there, or at least a lot of us. How the heart is so occupied during that time. And how many hearts do we have? Allah has not given any human being 2 hearts in his torso, in his chest. We have 1 heart. And Allah said man was created weak. So the heart is occupied, the mind is occupied. You try to pray, but your heart is not there. You want to recite Quran, your heart is not there. When you do your dhikr, when you even take a vacation to get away from it all, your heart is not there. You come to eat, you come to drink, it tastes like you're eating and drinking cardboard. Even food has lost its sweetness and flavor. And wherever you go, you smile with your friends, but they don't see the dark cloud that is hovering over your head. This is what it does, brothers and sisters. And that is a heart that Allah has created for His remembrance and His tawheed, and for you to learn and to teach Islam and to spread His religion and to bow and prostrate, to create a project for the hereafter. The heart was not created to be busied in this way. But let's be honest, marital discords does this to a person, brothers and sisters. And this is undoubtedly a reality. By the way, in the same study that we spoke about, that was done by the 2 psychiatrists, Thomas Holmes and Richard Ray in 1967, who said that there is a list of the most difficult experiences, stressful experiences that a person could experience. And we said number 1 was the death of a spouse. Number 2 and number 3 were divorce and marital separation. The 2nd and 3rd most stressful experiences of a human being, according to this study of 5,000 people, is divorce, number 2, and marital separation. It requires that we address it, therefore, dear brothers and sisters. Perfect relationship between husband and wife. Why? Because that doesn't exist in dunya. It exists in Jannah, but not in dunya. How could it exist when problems existed even in the marriage of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Did he not need at one point to spend almost a month in the mashraba, in the room next to the masjid? And is it not that Ali ibn Abi Talib once spent a night in the masjid when he fell out with Fatima, a woman who is in Jannah, and Ali is in Jannah, by the way, radiyallahu anhu. So we are not looking to deal with the minor issues. We are looking to manage the major issues.